Let's kick start it with wake-up conversations. Here at News Central, our mandate is to take the story, to go where the story is, to hear the voices of the people and amplify the stories that have not been told, as well as the ones that have been told but not told adequately. Today we're going to share with you excerpts from our Diaspora Townhall meeting. And what we've done and what we typically would do is go to the heart of a story, meet with relevant stakeholders on several key issues and have discussions. This time, we are in the United States of America, in New York. We've just concluded, or we've been a part of UNGA as well. But let's take a look at our Diaspora Town Hall meeting, and then we'll come back to talk.
We refuse to do global best practices as long as we refuse to accept the truth, as long as we refuse to accept knowledge, as long as we refuse to communicate effectively in simple languages that people understand, as long as we do not see ourselves as one, it will be hard for us to evolve.
Part of the reason why you see that the diasporans in Nigeria have become a little bit too laid back on this issue is the Nigerian government have always tried to control how the diasporans organize themselves. And one of the biggest coup they did against the diasporan leadership or diasporans was to create what they call Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, which was an appendage of the Nigerian government, people who could never oppose them. It was done by Obasanjo. And that took away the independent voice of organizing of Nigerians in diaspora or Africans, well, who are likely Africans as well. And I want to encourage Nigerians in the diaspora not to allow themselves to be sequestered under government-formed organizations. Form your own organizations. Determine how you push for your right to vote, because the Nigerian government did not form Western Union.
Let us come together as one, as diaspora, to use our voices to support those at home, to see how we can come into these electoral practices. My brothers and sisters, let us devise a new system. Let us see how diaspora can contribute. And we want the government to give the diasporans a fertile ground to be among the government and see how we can make policies that affect the people. I just wanted to devise a new system, a new way of doing things. That's my contribution. Thank you.
The general theme today is, will Nigeria's diaspora be silenced again in 2027? And the answer to that is no, it won't. Because we have now understood as diaspora that we do not need to wait. We do not need to wait to be invited to the table, but we must take our places at the table. If we are not at the table, we cannot shake the table.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow countrymen, it's my real pleasure to be here with you today. Even though we're scattered across continents, we are connected by something very powerful, and that is our deep stake in Nigeria's future. And we all know the numbers, and it's been spoken about many, many times. However, I want to talk about what we are missing by not letting diaspora participate as it should be in our national policy. The first is voting rights. The third gap is voting rights. We all care about elections back home, but most of us can actually vote from abroad. Ghana, South Africa, and others have all found ways to include their citizens overseas, and we can do the same. The second gap is policy gap. And many of us work in systems with strong institutions and innovative ideas. That's a treasure trove Nigeria can learn from, but only if there's a clear way for us to plug in. And then thirdly, we have the narrative power. We are natural ambassadors for Nigeria. In a world where perception drives investment and diplomacy, our collective voice could be a game changer, but that is only if that's organized. So what can we do? Well, we can take three quick steps. The first is push for diaspora voting as we are doing right here, making it normal for Nigerians abroad to cast a ballot. And the second is to build advisory channels to connect diaspora expertise directly to ministries and parliaments. And then go beyond remittances to support civic tech, election transparency, and innovation that can make Nigeria's democracy stronger. Democracy works best when everyone has a seat at the table. Excluding the diaspora means leaving one of Nigeria's biggest advantages unused. And so let's build a new compact, not as spectators, but as partners and co-creators of Nigeria's democratic future. Because I believe that together we can make it fairer, more inclusive, and more globally respected. It's not possible for Nigeria to practice a landlocked, it's not right for Nigeria to practice a landlocked democracy when her citizens are global. And that is why I think this is very important that we close this down. Thank you very much, and let's keep the conversation going.
The president can't do anything apart from what our brother has said here today. He can't do anything unless all your voices are made to count, so that the National Assembly will do what we Nigerians, or in Nigeria, always describe as they need to do the needful. They need to go through the third reading and the final presentation and then do the vote on it and present a bill to the president for assent before it becomes an act of law. That's the process. But that process will never happen unless there is some amount of pressure on the side of all Nigerians in diaspora and your own brothers and sisters back home in Nigeria. I remember many years ago that it's been said several times that if you're a Nigerian and you're sending money home to support your brother, your sister, and any member of your family, or even your friends, if you're doing that, you have some amount of influence on those individuals that you're sending money to. How are you using that influence? What are you doing with it? Are you asking them to know who is the chairman of their local government? So that if you decide you want to buy land or do anything in that local government, your brother can say, oh, I know the chairman of the local government, let's go to the local authority and this can be done. All of these are not essential to those of us who have lived in diaspora. I lived in the UK for almost 20 years. So I know that if I want anything in my borough, I go there, I get it done. But it's not that simple in Nigeria. So you've got to make your money count for something. Your influence and those that you send support to or you do business with in Nigeria, make it count for something. So that you encourage them to know their chairman, to know their councillors, to know the senator for their senatorial district, to know who is the honorable member of the House of Rep representing your constituency or your local government, to know who is the governor and to understand that they have the right to vote in or vote out whoever is going to be the next councillor, the next chairman, the next local government chairman, yes, the next governor, the next senator, House of Rep member, and even the president.
So there you have it, New Central Town Hall in New York. And as we speak, the world community, diplomatic community is gathered in New York. So what better place would you have your town hall to have a discussion on Nigeria's diaspora voting as we head towards the 2027 elections? And I say New York because the United Nations General Assembly is currently ongoing in New York as we speak. And trust New Central to always feel the pulse wherever conversations like this are happening across the world. And great deliberations from yesterday at the Diaspora Town Hall meeting. Nigerians in the diaspora are a huge constituency. They contribute billions of dollars in terms of remittances, and their contribution to Nigeria, beyond just sending money home, it's impressive.
It is impressive indeed.
And they're ambassadors of our great country. So
when I think of,
it's only fair that they have a right to vote in elections.
I absolutely agree with you. When I think of, I mean, you did talk about remittances. I saw that in 2022 they had over 20 billion in remittances to Nigeria.
That's
so
a
if you
huge
think,
amount.
yes, I know I saw that. I was trying to confirm that the World Bank in 2023 had given that report. And the truth is, if you're contributing so much, then you should have a stake in the conversations.
Yes.
When people say they're not in Nigeria, so they shouldn't be prioritized in voting, but you can use their money. They have families here. Whatever policies that are made
affects them.
Even in terms of taxes, the monies they're going to be sending home being taxed, There's so many issues that affect them. I don't think that there's any Nigerian there might be, but it's not the norm to see a Nigerian that is completely alienated in such a way that their immediate family, their extended family, all of them are in the diaspora. They have some link back home. So when policies are being made, it affects them. The leaders are being chosen. It impacts the quality of life that their loved ones will have. So
a lot of them would even rather have Nigeria work, so they stop sending money back home.
Exactly.
People can take care of themselves.
And
I can imagine the number of calls they get. Oh, somebody wants to do this, issues here, and there are things that are avoidable. So it's also their prayer that Nigeria works.
I was speaking with another Nigerian in the diaspora some days ago, and she was saying to me how there are so many issues that they face on a daily that
over there
that is not, when they say that to Nigerians, you tell them, but after all, you're abroad and you're earning well. The quality of the weather, first of all, not everybody is open to being in very extremely cold weather conditions.
Because that's not where you
just
grew up.
Air condition. Yeah. My friend's mom, whenever she comes to my friend's house, she will be complaining about the AC. That's the reason why she doesn't want to go to London, because she says, I beg, if she's complaining about AC like this,
imagine
what happens. So whenever she goes abroad, she doesn't want to leave the house because she's very cold. So some of them have to live in very harsh weather conditions, even when that's not their natural preference.
And they've also broken away from social circles, familiar faces that they're used to,
absolutely,
familiar ways of doing things. And also, Nigerians need to be considerate and not have this mentality.
Entitlement mentality.
The fact that you're abroad doesn't mean you're not going through your own issues. And there are certain types of people that the only time they check on you is, to make one demand or the other. I mean, it's tough everywhere.
It really is tough for them. I mean, just to also add to the fact that, while they are abroad, they also have challenges they're dealing with in terms of, like you said, being pulled out of their family, out of the regular. Migration is tearing families apart. I have very close loved ones that I haven't seen in years because people are living abroad and you're living here. You don't want to leave Nigeria. They don't want to come back. So it feels like the walls are getting higher and higher apart. And we're going to see
grandparents and
grandchildren. My mom, for example, hasn't seen my nephew. The problem is that in the next couple of years, we're going to see the impact of what we're doing. Languages are going to go into extinction. Our culture, our values, our tradition, many people
will be watered down.
It will be watered down because the number of the next generation will be born abroad, raised abroad. So there's not that familiar connection that they have to Nigeria. Beyond that, there are also other challenges that they deal with. Is the access to consular services. So when, as a Nigerian, you're stranded abroad, you need to renew your passport, you need to get your NIN. When they tell you the procedure that they have to go through to be able to renew their passport, so you just really hope and pray that nothing happens to you, nothing happens to your passport while you're there, because the challenge, I had a friend who was in Nigeria for a wedding recently, and I said, are you coming for 30 December? He said, I'm not sure because I've been trying to renew my passport and it's been much of a Herculean task and I don't have a lot of leave days left at work to come. So just a number of issues. I think that we need to, as much as we think and assume that the diaspora community are living their best lives, they also have challenges that they're dealing with and they must be brought into the fold and be a part of the conversation. But
it's unfortunate that this current constitutional review that is ongoing, I don't think diaspora voting is part of the conversations, part of the items that the legislators are going to deliberate on. I know there's the part for electronic transmission of voting, but I recall, to the best of my memory, that there's no talks of diaspora voting. So they might have to wait for the next electoral cycle as 2027 plus 2031 to vote, which is...
Actually, it might be, because I'm still looking online. Yes. I'm seeing that there might be, a bill was submitted by the senator to include the rights of, those in the diaspora to vote. And I know that there are a number of matters that will come in, but for us to be able to, it's not something that can happen
overnight. It will take a lot.
It will take a lot of deliberation.
And then the state houses of assemblies will have to also vote.
And then they will put in the modalities, in place. This has been
very technical.
It has been an issue. This is not the first, second, third, or maybe last time that this issue about diaspora voting has come up.
And the diaspora is quite wide. There are Nigerians in Tonga, there are Nigerians in Nauru, in St. Kitts and Nevis.
They say if you go to any country and you don't see a Nigerian, no matter of that country, just leave. That country is not the best.
There are Nigerians in Vanuatu. So who's going to take ballot boxes to Vanuatu?
Anyway, I think that the way they might
they'll work out the modality. I think they can start with New York, London, Berlin, Canada, Rome, Canada, Toronto.
And what they would do,
Toronto, specific.
Exactly. They'll just have the embassies. People would then go to the embassies, cast their vote, and then go home. And then they can start to spread it to other countries.
Like
or maybe
South
we can start by other African countries.
Yeah, South Africans vote in Nigeria in the embassy, so it's not, we're not reinventing the wheel. Something that is doable.
All right, moving on from the diaspora conversation and our new central town hall in the diaspora, let's talk about teachers and pupils who have scooped water. They've come to the rescue after the Ekiti school collapse. We have a video. We'll take a look at the video and then we'll come back to talk some more about it.
United la wà yìí o, kíláàsì mi tún lélẹ́yìí, ẹ wò bá ṣe rí báyìí, àtolùkọ́, àtàwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́, gbogbo wa là ń gbọ́n mi o, ẹ wò bílẹ̀ bí yóò bó ṣe green, ẹ wò gbogbo bí ló ti dagun, ẹ jẹ́ má jẹ́ ó tẹ̀lé wa lórí, ẹ ṣàánú wa, ẹ wò ṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe látàárọ̀ kùtùkùtù, tá a ti jí wá síbí lénìí, ẹ wò ṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe, iṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe láàárọ̀ kùtùkùtù Monday ní o, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, akọ̀bẹ̀yìn ni, abẹ̀yìn ni, ẹ ṣàánú wa abẹ̀yìn ni, àfọlọ́run ọba bẹ̀yìn, ẹ ṣíjú àánú wò wá, ẹ wo omi là ń gbọ́ látàárọ̀ o, omi òun là ń gbọ́ látàárọ̀, àárín kọ̀kọ́ ṣe omi la ṣà ń gbọ́n, àtolùkọ́ àtàkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ gbogbo wa ló ń gbọ́ mi báyìí, omi là ń gbọ́ látàárọ̀ o, ẹ wò wá báyìí, ẹ wo gbogbo ilé wa báyìí, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ti ṣí, gbogbo ẹ̀ pátápátá ló ṣí, òní, ẹ wò báyìí, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ṣí, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ti ṣí, àríbi dúró sí láti kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wọ̀nyí o, àríbi dúró sí láti kọ́ wọn o, ẹ wò báyìí, àfọlọ́run ọba bẹ̀yìn, ṣé tá à ń ṣe ní láti gbà tá a ti dé látàárọ̀ o, ẹ ṣé o, ẹ jẹ́ aráàánú gbà o, ẹ̀yin náà aráàánú gbà o, ẹ jẹ́ kí lè wé wa aráàánú gbà o, Wesley United, ìwòrò òmù Èkìtì láwa o.
You know, the irony of all of this video, this very sad video that we're watching, is that the slogan for Ekiti State is Fountain of Knowledge. How do you expect to be a fountain of knowledge if the learning environment is...
This is the water from the fountain that came into this classroom.
That must be the only explanation for this. And I also don't understand, okay, for the sake of those that don't understand Yoruba, to translate what she's saying is, please come to our rescue. We've been bailing out water since morning. Look at the environment where the children are learning. And yeah, to the best of, just to paraphrase, that's what she said. But I mean, there are different things to highlight in this very sad video we're watching this morning. And you wonder how things got to this level. Number one, beyond the roof, I don't think pupils should be learning in this sort of environment. Number two, why are you making, you can just send the children home because, look, you're exposed to the elements. How do you study in this sort of environment? Number three, why are you making them stay in dirty water, contaminated water, to bail out water when without protective gear, nothing? And it's not even their duty to do it. Just let the children go home. Why all this drama? But I guess it's the wow and attention factor. And now that they've done a good job in getting our attention to it, it would be nice to hear from the authorities in Ekiti State and their position on this, what they will do, or why the school is in this state, and their plans for primary education. I believe this is the primary school in Ekiti State.
So
it's terrible.
There are many people that have a number of questions to answer, and the Ekiti State Governor, the Ekiti State Commissioner of Education, Dr. Olabimpe definitely has a lot of, questions to answer. this is beyond embarrassing. This is also a health hazard, because beyond the fact that these kids will not have the opportunity to learn in a decent environment, they've also been exposed to health hazards, like you mentioned earlier. The First Lady of Ekiti State is a professor and lecturer at the Faculty of Education in UI. Ekiti State is definitely, like you have mentioned, a hallmark for excellence, academic excellence.
Fountain of knowledge.
You know, a state that is known for PhDs, people who have dedicated their lives to studying and come out excellently. Shouldn't they be safeguarding schooling, you know, safeguarding the quality of education by giving, first of all, a decent school? I hope that that teacher doesn't face any backlash, because shame on anyone who will go and fire that teacher.
And this is what happens when somebody does, a citizen, a law-abiding citizen, highlights problems. They are the first to take the fall. Remember what happened in Ekiti State,
yes,
with the primary healthcare center. And
we heard later.
I hope they really don't victimize the teacher, like you said.
Yes. This teacher was saying that as journalists, as Nigerians, our charge is that the Ekiti State government must protect this teacher at all costs, because what she has done is highlighted a challenge that needs to be fixed. We're hoping that they can jump into the arena like Governor Alex Oti did when he visited the campus in Abia State and saw the dilapidated state of the campus. It wasn't even this terrible. And in a few months, the turnaround has been beyond amazing. They have a new facility, a new structure that is of repute, of a standard worthy of being an academic institution where young Nigerians are going to learn. So the government should take this up as a challenge and turn around this building in a few months, because the government does have the ability to do that. Give them an institution that they'll be proud of, a decent institution. Again, when I see videos like this, what it always reminds me of, or what I always say, is that one of our rights, as enshrined in the Constitution, is right to dignity of human person. And that video shows our human dignity being stripped away. Being stripped away at the foundation of our humanity, in the lives of our children. They're having their dignity being stripped away. And it's such a terrible thing to witness. So one, that teacher must not be fired. Two, the building must be brought down and built up in a way that Nigerians can be proud, and citizens in Ekiti State can be proud of what they have. And three, that should be a wake-up call for the Commissioner of Education in Ekiti State, for the government in Ekiti State, to take a look at the schools and to be sure that all the students, all the pupils, don't have to live in such a terribly degrading and unsafe learning condition.
Absolutely. And it also highlights how much emphasis we pay to education for that school to be in such a terrible condition.
Really
and
sad.
These are some of the conversations they're saying that, look, you want to host Commonwealth Games.
But
look at priorities, look at these schools. And this is just a microcosm. If you go around 36 states of the Federation, you definitely find lots of schools in that state. And it's not in that state, it's not just Ekiti State. It's a nationwide problem. We need to do something about it. This should be priority. Look, we've not gone to that level of Commonwealth Games. When we get there, we'll cross the bridge. Yeah, right. Let's take what Nigerians are saying.
And we should start off with Enioluwa's tweet, because Enioluwa, he's a public figure and he's passionate about education. I know he's currently doing his doctorate degree, if I'm correct. So let's start out with his tweet and then share what Nigerians are saying. Okay, I don't know if we have that tweet.
But let's just get reactions from Nigerians. I've bread is better than none. I guess that's
I was waiting for that.
No one is talking about states like this. All focus is on one, Lagos. Let me get Lagos.
What's
I get Lagos. All claiming Lagos. So all these states, human beings know they live there. Nigeria needs real development, not just Lagos, but other regions, areas. Just imagine.
Wait, let's pause.
Did you not see
what happened in Lagos in the past 2 days?
A few days ago. And how did Lagos get into the conversation? Please, let's move on. Chukwu Joke, proudly Anyoma, says this is Ekiti State, the state with the highest number of professors in Nigeria. Embarrassing, she says. Top Guy says, if you're poor in Nigeria, you will suffer. No access to good health, no justice when you're wronged, no support when life hits hard. poverty here isn't just lack of money, it's a death sentence designed by a broken system. Very sad tweet there from Top Guy. Food for thought. Ama Ogudu says, I don't support the APC or some of Tinubu's policies, but even in Japan, UK, and USA, schools get flooded and pupils learn how to do chores for their survival and the greater good of the society. Why is everything a complaint since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu became president? In some places, they don't even have classrooms, talk more of roof. That we have an ultramodern classroom, that weather damage is a plus through a learning curve. Please, let's just pause on the street. Olive, your attention is needed here.
Okay, so he says that he doesn't support the APC, some of Tinubu's policies, but even in Japan, UK, and US, schools get flooded and pupils learn how to do chores for their survival and the greater good of the society. This, first of all, is a rubbish tweet. I'm so sorry, with all due respect. We can't start to look at using, and I don't even know if that's, first of all, is a true comparison.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's saying that they don't have, in some places, they don't have classrooms, talk more of roof. Why is it that we are the ones that are best to compare with the worst case scenario? We that are meant to be the giant of Africa. So what your basis of comparison is the worst case scenario. It says that we have an ultramodern classroom that's weather damaged is a plus.
How is that an ultra-modern classroom?
But then again...
Then who mentioned President Tinubu's name? When we started, you apportioned blame to those responsible for it.
Which is the state,
the Ekiti State government and the Commissioner for Education.
It's just really sad where we look for opportunities to bring politics into. That person is obviously a politician that is hiding under the guise of, I don't support President Tinubu's policies. If we say, call a spade, right?
Exactly.
You see what is wrong, call it out for what it is.
Will you send your children to that kind
Exactly. Would you have been happy to go to that kind of school?
That it's part of learning culture?
Maybe you will be happy.
That they are scooping water.
Maybe you like suffering, but will you send your children? Will you be happy to see your children there?
It's learning curve.
It's a learning curve in an ultra-modern facility. Please, let's take all that tweet and then wrap up the
Don't angry us this morning.
Honestly. Well, come and see people. Your government is offering to please governors for... all for 2027. You remove subsidy to give it to governors for a better state. Now you're asking the masses to hold the governors responsible. Finish what you have started. We'll call them to order. This person is making reference to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu anyway. And the final tweet, okay, we've talked about this earlier. That's what we have this morning. But then again, like we said, we're holding the Ekiti State government, the Commissioner of Education in Ekiti State, all relevant stakeholders to account. Protect your children. Protect them by ensuring that they are guaranteed the best quality of education. Best quality of education is not just by hiring great teachers. The environment plays a huge role in where and how people can study and absorb the information being passed across to them. And finally, beyond even the great quality of education, allow them be safe. That video we saw was not a safe
there could
video.
Be tapeworm,
tapeworm, every nonsense inside that flood in the classroom. And then I had hoped that the teachers and the schools can do better. If your school is flooded, please do not subject the children to child labor. Look at the ultramodern roof. If the school is flooded, send them home.
Exactly.
It's not their responsibility to clean it. Instead, reach out to the community. If it's a poor community, let all the parents come together if they have to and do the cleaning, not these children.
Or get a pump to pump the water out. Okay, let's move on to our next wake-up conversation. Yes, this is... when I saw this, I had to blink twice and open my eyes and read it again to be sure that, I'm not in dreamland, because it shows you how outrageous, how shocking this is. The federal government, Mr. President, has been fighting for local government autonomy, and they've not even gotten full autonomy. Is this what they're going to release money for? What's the story, you ask me? Adamawa State Local Government Wives Associations have sent a delegation to Turkey, the country that formerly used to be known as Turkey, to learn how to support, what's the exact word? To support
their local government chairman husband. So
they have to go all the way with taxpayers' money.
And I think that is important because now, especially now that we've been granted autonomy, when the Supreme Court in the judgment in July 2024 granted autonomy to the local government chairman. Part of the concerns were how the funds will be dispersed and whether or not these local government chairmen will manipulate the funds. And you know that in a number of these homes, the real chairman is not the man, it's the woman, it's the madam of the house. So I think that is very important.
Charity is in Turkey.
It's a laudable achievement. I think they should be applauded. Are you laughing?
Olive, are you being sarcastic?
I think that, you know, they should be applauded for seeing how very important it is to invest in these women, to teach them skills on how to ensure that they support their husbands, the local government chairman.
Why couldn't they do it via Zoom? And why Turkey?
Oh gosh, I was trying to keep a serious face in saying all this. It's just that some people have no understanding of sarcasm. And then they will not drag me.
The blogs
and say I'm like one of them.
New Central host.
It's a New Central host supports
wastage
in case you do not
of
understand sarcasm,
money.
I'm very fluent in it. But I just think, I don't want to believe that that's true. I want to believe that that story...
you can see the videos there.
Well, let it be that the women on their own decided that they wanted to use that as a way to bond. And then they said, you know what, I'm going to Turkey. And the one reached out to a few other friends. And I don't want to jump into
It would be nice to see the program of events and the itinerary.
I don't want to believe that that's what happened.
For learning how to support their husbands.
Again, I want to believe that this is just a social media clickbait situation where somebody has decided to politicize the situation and make an issue out of it. But then again, if we get more information about that, we will share with you.